Yeah, go for it. Yes, play. Because we're actually rolling. Well, we're rolling. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll cut little bits out, but I like to start it quite like organically. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Getting a little settled. You've done the concept. I've seen it. So great. Hello, everybody. It's me, Luton Paul. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Jack O'Shea, and the man himself, Lightning Linus Udofia. Oh my gosh, Linus, thank you so much for coming, bro. I'm so gassed. This guy, oh my day. If you've seen him fight, lightning is the word. Trust me, lightning really is the word. I mean, Jack, you've seen this guy fight.
Oh, I'm just a massive fan of him as a person, as a boxer, as a bloke, just everything about him. I have to.
Yeah, so Linus, do me a favour, bro. For people out there that don't know who you are, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you're from? I mean, I know you're a Luton boy, but tell people a little bit of your background.
So I'm born in Nigeria, and came here when I was like 8 years old. My dad got a job down here. Came down here, and when I first come down, I didn't speak a lick of English. So like,
really?
Yeah, I didn't speak a lick of English.
Wow.
I don't sound like it now.
You sound like a Luton boy.
So adapted to your environment and things like that, and I don't really know. I never know what to say. I started boxing when I was 17, and I just wanted to. I've done loads of different things before boxing. I wanted to, like, it's going to sound mad because I've got a whole career from this, but when I first, I always wanted to, like, when you watch like Claude Van Damme scene, misses or whatever, and all these guys run up on him and they're like, what's going on? And he kicks all their ass.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Boy, not that I don't want to do that. No, but I want that in my.
You want to have
arsenal. I want to defend myself, defend people around me, defend people I love, and so I've done everything. I've done jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, I've done everything.
No.
And then boxing was the one that was a bit like this ain't just martial art. It's a bit more to this. There's an art to this. There's competition to this. And then I started fighting. I had a fight. Like an amateur fight, my first amateur fight, and won it, and that was it. I knew, just something clicked in my head, and when my hand got raised, I just knew that this was going to be me.
That must have been such a great feeling. That must have been beautiful feeling to have that first moment, and to then have your ideas set in your head as to where you're going in your life. That's beautiful. How you do that then. So yeah, I mean, like you obviously. You're from Nigeria. Do you go to Nigeria a lot? Is that like still a big place in you?
No. We used to go a lot as a family. We all used to go a lot when our grandparents were still alive, and then they passed away in 2012, I want to say. And we've been back now and then, but nowhere near as much as we used to when they were still alive. So, it still holds a place. But right now, this is home to me.
Yeah,
I'm there. My roots are back in Nigeria. This is where I make my change. This is where I make my money. This is where I make my career. So this is right now home.
No, I love it. I love the fact that you're here in Luton as well, especially because like I see how much of a Luton boy you are. Like you rep our town big time, man. Like you love the football team. Like I see you playing football for the charity teams as well out here. You're always trying to promote community and kindness, and like, man, you're such a big character in the town. We're so lucky to have you. Like I know we've got big characters like Jordan Reynolds and stuff, people like that in the town, but you hold a really special place for me because. You kind of epitomise what Luton's about. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the time you come into fights and you're the underdog. Do you know what I mean? And then at the end of the fight, everybody knows your name. Like, I mean, I just want to talk. I'm not a big boxer. I love boxing. I've never fought in the ring or anything like that, but, I've always been a big appreciative person of the sport. And my favourite fight of yours was John... Is it John Harding? Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! That's when I learned about you. Like for real. Like I'd seen little bits and bobs about you before, but then I watched that fight from start to finish, and it was pure poetry the whole way through. Like you move so soft and swift, and it's like it doesn't really look like anything's happening. Then all of a sudden you're lighting them up. All of a sudden, and this guy's a good boxer. Like, man, I saw videos of him previously. And I was worried if anything. And then I had no reason to be, because look what you've done to him, man. That was beautiful. Tell me, like, for you, what was that fight like?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate everything you said about, the whole Luton thing. where I'm from, I hold, whether it's Nigeria or whether it's Luton, I came here when I was very young, and I've lived in Luton for the last 20 plus years, and this is home to me. So when things weren't, Luton weren't playing in the great light for a long time, for a very long time, and I sit there and be like, Luton, why are people doing Luton that bad? And I can sit here and say everything I want, or you can go and be an example for them, because look, just like everywhere, there's some bad places, some bad people. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more good people than bad people. There's a lot more good places than bad places. If you can make a difference, do it. If you can, if I want to lead by example. I want to show that you can just get your head down, go on the right path, do your right thing, and kind of like younger people are looking up to you. So what you're doing, they're going to demand a copy. So if they only have good people, bad people to look up to, that's what they're going to be praised. Yeah. So if you can be a good example, that's what I've got to be. I've got the brothers, I've got the sisters. I can't let anyone down. You know what I mean? I take the same thing into my town, my country. I'm representing my family. I'm representing everybody. So I have to walk the path I want everybody to follow. You know what I mean? I have to be positive for this town, for my country, for my family. Yeah. So I really appreciate you saying that. And yeah, really come from the heart. I meant it, man. Like I followed you for a while, personally as well. Like before I put the mask and stuff on, I followed you for years. I probably wasn't paying super attention, but then as time's gone on, I've been involved in certain circles, and I just see the stuff that you're doing, and man, you're an inspiration, man. And I hope that there's more young people who are out there who maybe come from underprivileged areas, or maybe immigrants coming into the country and don't really feel like they've got a place here. Like they can look at you and then see that you can do something really special. I mean, look at you now, man. You're wearing your own label. That's amazing. Yeah. This is beautiful as well, by the way. I love it. I see your clothes online. It's really cool, man. But yeah, no, back to the fight. I want to get the thoughts of the fight. The fight. So that was that was some of the most interesting, funny, sad, all of it. So many different emotions. Not just the fight, that whole situation. It was lockdown. Yeah. When lockdown hit, everybody got it. No one got away with it. Everyone got hit by lockdown. Yeah, exactly. Myself included. I couldn't fight. I couldn't go to the gym. Nobody could leave their house. Nobody could do what they did. Footballers couldn't play with everybody. No matter what you were, you had to stop. And we all had to. We all had to have our eyes open. We all had to. The one luxury we had was time. Everyone had time to. Everyone had time to do things. Everyone had time to learn new skills and do all these things. People spent it differently. So that was. And then this fight came about because his coach at the time was doing lives. He was doing Instagram lives. A lot of people doing Instagram lives. Yeah. And he messaged me and he goes, "Jump on a live." I jumped on with him. He goes, "Oh, how are you doing? How do you think a fight would go with one of my fighters, John?" And I went, "Hey, listen, that's not. Look, let's be honest. And the history of it is, me and him were meant to fight a couple of times before. Okay. To put it out there, it's not. I'm not going to say it on a detriment to him. So the notice weren't right for him. I think he got the fight when we first were meant to fight on really short notice. Yeah. He was trained up quite well, and he's training. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't work for us. Yeah. So obviously people are going to spin a narrative. And I said, look, it was meant to happen, and it didn't. Everyone took that as, he doesn't want to fight. I don't think he's a fighter, man. He'll fight anyone. He heard that information. He took it as it is. He called me. Oh, no, actually, he said to me, call me. Give me a call. I gave him a call, and he's like, what's going on? And we had a little back and forth on the phone. And I was like, hey, you're taking this out proportionally. However, if we need to do this, you know what to do. Yeah. Anyway, it's all come about. I got a contract through the door. Yeah, you've got a fight, 8 weeks' notice. There you go, Sky Sports. What's the undercard? Do you want it? Hey, mate, get off my phone. Of course I want it. We're talking about it. I get to fight in lockdown. I get to work in lockdown. Of course. I don't know. And then the whole bubble. So we, fight come in, promo, all this stuff. And even all of it, just not even the whole bubble, but in the gyms, I was only allowed to train because I had the fight coming up. No one else was allowed to be in the gym. Empty gym. Yeah, so it was just me and my coach. And it's never been like
that. Must have felt so special, though. That's like a Rocky moment, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like that one-on-one, and it's a quiet gym. That's beautiful.
Don't get me wrong. It was incredibly, like, it was good. It was nostalgic. It was incredible. However, it was incredibly lonely as well. Like, remember, it's just when me and my coach built a massive bond from it. You know, we've been working with each other for like 8 years now. Yeah. But in that one camp, we got closer than ever because it was just me and him. It was literally just me and him. We got sparring partners in here and there. However, it was just always me and him. And it was a beautiful camp. It was very different. It was a bit of a culture shock. And then we went into a bubble. And again, that was a weird old time. And the thing is, with a bubble, we're all in there. All the fighters are in there. Everyone part of this boxing thing is in there. So I ran into him a lot. Into him, yeah. And he was the character he is. He's very explosive. He's very aggy. He's very and he, you know what? He taught me a lot of things. Okay. Coming up to fighting him, I'd never had anyone try and confront me, try and call me out, try and irritate me, try and tag me. I've never had that in my life. Let alone, like, I've never had that in my life. Let alone in a fighting situation. Yeah. So that was like, when he first did it, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I started panicking. I was like, straight away, I'm not good at conversation as it is. However, like, when he did it, I was like, oh my God. And then, I sat down with myself and I said, no, listen, it comes with it. Let's deal with it. Deal with it how you would deal with it in a fight situation. You get someone who tries to hit you, you get out of the way and you're going to fight back. So, be constructive, relax. And then, it taught me a lot of things. And then when it comes to the fight now, and him doing all that showed me so much. He did so many things, and I thought, you know what, I could start him up. Yeah. So I started winding him up, and he thought, obviously you've got to make weight and things like that. Yeah. So I wasn't eating. I'm a skeptical guy, so I do all my own stuff. I do all my own food. I do all my own plans. I don't eat anything else. And I tell certain food all the fighters are eating, and I wouldn't. I just get coffee and then go back to my room and eat. Make the food in my room and eat it. But he thought I was struggling to make weight. And he thought I weren't eating. So he sat there and he's like giving it. He's like, you're not making weight, you're doing this, you're doing this. Mate, I'm in your head.
Oh, wow, that must be such a good feeling. Oh, man, to know that as well.
And he kept on going. In space, when we jumped on the scale and I weighed less than him, jumped on the scales and I was like, I made the weight, no problem. And he was just like, and then we got in the ring, and look, I always knew I was going to win the fight. Every fight I go into, in my head, I'm going to win the fight, unless something happens. It is what it is. It just got to it. I will admit the lack of support, the lack of fans, the lack of people.
Yeah, it was very quiet.
It was like a glorified sparring session. It was weird. It was very weird. But again, it was like, this is how I trained. So I trained on my own with just my sparring partner and my coach. So it was just like the same thing again. However, when you fight, you walk out, and it's normally the raw people, everyone's screaming. Yeah. And you walk out, and it was nothing, and you're like, I'm so grateful that I've experienced something like that. Yeah. And obviously to do that.
Super unique, man. Yeah. Super unique. That's like, in years to come, people were going to talk about what happened during lockdown, and that was a moment. That was a big moment as well. Like, if people are boxing fans and they want to know what went down in lockdown, that was Linus, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And what a fight as well. Oh my God! Out of all of them, I mean, I've seen a lot of your fights. More like bits and pieces, not the full thing all the way. But that one, I watched from start to finish. Dude, I can't tell you how good it was. Like, I mean, you know yourself. And that must have felt great afterwards, walking out the ring with a victory.
Oh yeah, it was massive. A lot of it, like, a lot of people watched it because it's lockdown. No one else is going anywhere. No one's doing anything on the Friday night, or no one's going anywhere. So a lot of eyes drawn out. It was a massive opportunity to represent myself, where I'm from, my skills, my training, everything. I got to represent. I got to do everything. So it was a massive opportunity for me, and I'm very grateful for being able to showcase myself on that platform.
Mate, it was honestly. It was absolutely brilliant.
I think
you talked a lot. I want to ask Jack now something, because you know Linus before.
Yeah, so I've been Linus
for years now.
And as I said, I can't give this guy enough credit. Like, I'm just a big fan of him as a person. I mean, don't get me wrong, massive fan of him as a boxer. And I honestly, I think I've actually said it on the first podcast that you spoke about.
Yeah, we did.
And said that, you know, last few fights I've been watching, I remember one, all the football lads went down, filled out Broome Crown Pub, filled it out. Like, I mean, there was so many people down there supporting there, of course, he got the win. And we were roaring. But no, Linus as a bloke, I first met him, so like I say, we played football together quite a few times. And I remember seeing him, obviously I knew who he was. And you always have that sort of perception that you think you can go up and they're going to be a bit like, you know, So, absolute opposite. Like, literally, as soon as I met him, it was just like, he's just such a lovely guy, like, honestly. And then we played, and what ball, by the way, as well. It's one of them all sports. Do you know what I mean? He's good at everything, trust me. But in the centre mid, if you want a man in your centre mid, Sunday team, Saturday team, listen, if he weren't good at boxing, I'm telling you, he's the guy. But no, honestly, like I say, I suppose that's where it comes from. And honestly just can't speak highly enough. I know I keep saying it, but just as a bloke, I know that, and it's like we were just talking about with you with that fight. I think when you become a professional athlete, you know, this is why you are professional. That fight in particular we were just talking about, everything was different. Like you just said, the training, you know, you by yourself, you know, you've got back with your own thoughts, everything, and to come out with not just a win, but a very good win, a very good win. It just shows the credit, and like you just said, and I love that because I know that I do this at football. I like to get into people's heads and stuff like that. I'm very much a talker myself, and I like to, you know, as I said, as we just said, actually, live in head rent free sort of thing. I'm very much that sort of person. And when people are doing it to me, I'm very much, I know it's fine, do you know what I mean, chill out. And it was interesting actually to hear that, like that, you know, in boxing, you do get in fighting, you know, looks Conor McGregor and people like that, they were very much talkers, but then you've got the opposite people that are very much just stand there, get on with it sort of thing. So that was quite interesting to hear. But yeah, sorry, going back to the question, Linus, I've known for a few years, and absolute top bloke. And honestly, I can't wait to see what's happening next. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Let's talk about that.
I'd love to know.
Let's talk about that. So what's going on for Linus? What's the rest of the year hold, and what does 2023 look like? So
I've just our contract with my last was just finished. We just finished, and we just broken that. We left that alone. My manager's working on a few meetings with our big promoters as well. Okay. But I'd like to get out into the year, December time, before Christmas. But however, I'm okay to. I'm patient and very patient. Just keep in the gym, kind of do what I always say. This, you know, you've got people in your life for a reason. You've got a manager. You manage your career. That's what you've done. Because you've got training. You're a fighter, so you can fight. So I do whatever I can. So I do the best I can. That's what I do. I get time to rest. I don't need to do the jobs. I do their jobs. So I just do what I can. So right now I'm just in the gym and just working on myself, and just trying to be as prepared and as you know what I mean, as consciously prepared as possible. But the goal's still the same. My last fight didn't go exactly how I wanted it. However, I was so gutted. I watched it. Was we up the pub for that?
So no, I was actually at another mate, and it was about 10-15 of us in this living room.
I was at the pub. I was definitely at the pub for that one. But I was gutted.
I was gutted, and going on that one, I've got a quick question about actually because I just intrigued again because obviously I love sports and whatnot. What was it that was, like I said, you looked good. You looked good. Like, it wasn't a loss. Like, the way I generally felt it was very much could have gone. Was it the fact that, because I mean, he took a lot of people down, didn't he? You always take a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were sort of, I mean, obviously, like I said, listening to it on TV, it sounded like they were sort of just getting the up, which on Luton people is quite rare. It doesn't normally happen, especially things like that. But it sounded like, I can't remember the area it was from, but it sounded like they'd taken, it sounded like they'd taken quite a lot of people down, and it sounded very loud. Was that part of it, do you think? Or, do you know what I mean? Does that, but you could have drowned that out, or I know it probably plays a part sometimes, but do you know what I mean? Was that part of it? Or
that's a great question.
I can only speak for myself.
Absolutely.
I can't speak for judges or anyone else, or, you know what I mean, Bentley himself. For me, it didn't. It kind of, like, I remember when I was walking out, the best way I can say it is, I was in the changing room, did whatever. Cameras come in. They're like, "Are you gonna walk out?"
Yeah.
Started walking out. I stood in my thing, waited for my music. He's had his music, walked out, and it was like a walkway, and then there was fans sat on either side.
Yeah.
And obviously above you and all around you. Pardon me. And I walked out, started walking out, my music playing, and I could tell which side were my lot and which side was his. So literally the right side was just his, the left side was all mine.
Yeah.
And it was just jeers on his right side. And I thought, and it made me like, if some people would go, "Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Nah, but I looked at them and I kind of just went, "Oh, you boys can be pissed on me."
It's like fuel to the fire.
You're always not going to be happy, man. Like, you've given me that little bit of a 1% now. You've given me a little bit more. Look, it is what it is. For me, it didn't make a difference. And you've got to spin it as well. I appreciate that we can get two people fighting each other, two sets of support fighting each other, giving like just supporting their boy. And at the end of it, everyone just goes home.
Absolutely.
You know, one side goes unhappy, one side not so happy. However, do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate him that came out to support with his side and my side. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, without people supporting, without everyone coming out, it makes this job so hard.
Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. Well, I would love to be in the next one. I would absolutely love to be in the next one.
I'd certainly
Hit me up, though.
I certainly
Yeah,
will be.
100%. If you love it, I want to do like a ring girl with a number.
I'll have a word with some people.
As much comedy as we can possibly get in, I'm down for. I love to mess around with it. But no, like, for real, I want to be in the next one. Like, on Bentley, like, what would you say? Do you want to have it again? Or?
100%. You know, boxing is business, so, you know, for a lot of things to happen, a lot of boxes have got to tick, so
yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense for me to get that rematch. You know, for me to have that fight in my head and in my team, it'd make a lot of sense. It's not necessarily, but for Bentley, it doesn't make any sense. So why would he do it? He'd do it at a detriment. He'd do it at a risk, a little reward. You know what I mean? For me, it'd be a little risk, big reward, because how the first fight went. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense for him. It'd be better.
Maybe then this is like a long haul. It's like, bro, I mean, you got 18 points, right? 18 points, one loss, that's it. Everything else has been either a knockout or points. You won every single one. Like, that guy, he's got to be on the crosshairs for the long term.
Yeah, of course.
You know, do your thing, and maybe one day you pass and cross again. I'd love to see a rematch.
100%. Yeah, no, and again, that's the next step. You know, like, I can't just focus on him. I've got to move on with my career. I've got to navigate my own steps, which I've let my management do and my team do. And you look, the way the trajectory's going, we're both around the same number of fights, around the same age. We're going to meet again. I mean, we're going to meet again. The fight's going to be called for if we keep doing well in our careers. I keep doing well, he keeps doing well. We're going to cross paths again. We've been destined to cross paths a few times. We've only just done it now at this level. Yeah. We're going to cross paths again. But, you know, moving on, there's a lot of, you know, the goal is still the same. I still want a British title. I still want to be the first person to bring a British title back to Luton since, you know, Billy and Graham and people like that. You know, I still want to be the first in the next name. I still want to be the first Luton world champion. The first, you know, I want to do all these things, and I'm not just going to skip these things. You know, I've got my own goals, I've got my own accolades that I want to earn, and you know, the goal's still the same.
Yeah, that's wicked. I'm so excited to see what you do.
I'm excited. I believe in it.
Same here. And this is the thing. You've got, like, where I think here's the difference with you and Jordan Reynolds, because you two are big boxers in Luton, right? And I think Jordan's got quite a big lot of fight behind him at the moment. Like, he's been in what was he in? Was he Blinders or something like that?
I think
he was in something like that, wasn't he? He was doing like a little. I saw it the other day. He was like boxing in Peaky Blinders, like a little like side character sort of thing. But like that, you know, Jordan Reynolds is great, and you know, I don't have a bad word to say about the man whatsoever. But I feel like you're a lot closer to the crowd, if you know what I mean. I feel like you're more connected to the people. Jordan's got his boys, but I feel like you're spread to more community. Like, you're not just like Jordan represents Barney. He's from Barney, so he's got a lot of them boys. He's got a lot of the football lot that come to see him as well. Whereas, like, you've got people who come from every ward, and I think that's where you touch a little bit better for me. Is that you've got them connections to people, and for me that makes you like no disrespect, Jordan. You're probably not going to watch this anyway, so it doesn't matter. But no disrespect, but Linus is my guy all day long. All day long, I swear to God. Like I saw you recently at the Luton Rum Fest, and it's stuff like that which to me speaks volumes about your character. Because it takes a lot to do that challenge. It's a hell of a challenge to do. It's fun from what I've seen. I haven't run it yet. I'm going to do it next year. Yeah, I'm definitely. You've done it, haven't you?
It's fun.
Yeah. Was it last year you done it?
I done it last year. Unfortunately, I didn't do it this year. Why I didn't do it this year? There's no excuse. Lazy. But I'll do it again. I absolutely love it.
No, I'm going to do it next year, 100%. But yeah, like just seeing you doing stuff like that, and you're known by all of the big people in Luton as well, which is it just plays in your favour to be this sort of centrepiece. Like that's what I kind of hope for you. And hearing you say that you want to be the first person to bring a world title back to Luton, that's like, oh man, it fills me with so much excitement because it shows me your passion for this town.
Yeah, this is where I'm from. Like I said, look, I was born in Nigeria. I came here when I was younger. Yeah, Nigeria was going to have a hold in my heart because that is home. That's where the heart is. I mean, that's my motherland. However, this is where I became who I am. This is where I molded myself. This is where I think no English. I didn't speak a lick to who I am now. This is where I learned how to play football, how to do athletics, how to, box, and how to do all these things. This is where I went to school. This is where I met a lot of lifelong friends. This is where I made everything.
When did you
go? Banner. So I was in Lucy Park still. I went to Southfields, and then I went to Lee Manor, and then Barnstable College. Just literally around here, and so this is, and I take a lot. I don't know about you, we're all the same. I think we feel like we're all the same when I say we take a lot of pride in where we're from. When somebody says where you're from, I say Luton. I don't all British shit. No. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no.
Do you know what? Don't you find though that as time's gone on, like when we was growing up in going to school and stuff, it was a bit of a shameful thing almost. Like if you go out, like that, I don't know, when we would go out, we would go to places, and if you say you're from Luton, you get looks from people.
I still get it now. And I've always got arguments with them. They go, "Oh, you're from Luton?" I'm like, "No, don't give a shit." Yeah. And they're like, "Oh yeah, but it's a bit rough, isn't it?" Listen, we took about four junctions on the motorway. It's got an airport. It's got 3 train stations. It's got a town centre. Don't.
Hey, listen, do you know what?
Someone coming at me.
Someone said to me before, it's the thing that I take like so much value in part in. In Luton, you can be anything and go anywhere because you can literally go anywhere from here. You can start off being I've seen some people who have been homeless and then they end up running charities themselves. I've seen people who have come from pure poverty and now they're jet setting all over the globe and they leave out of Luton Airport, which fills me with so much pride. Yeah. Like this place is a special place.
Well, when we were talking about before as well, weren't we? We were saying about, obviously, because there's some characters that come out of Luton that are all in the media. There's one more recently as well that we're speaking about. Again, don't need to say names, but he is probably the most famous man on the planet right now.
Let's talk about this. Yeah, let's talk about this. Tristan, I'm going to name him because this guy.
You've got Tristan, you've got Andrew Tate. Obviously, right at the minute, probably 2 of the most famous guys in the world. And both, I think, actually went to your high school as well. So from that neck of the woods. As well as obviously other characters from Luton that are very well known. Strong opinions, basically. Strong opinions.
Well, I want to just say one thing on. Because I saw a video that Tristan put up recently where he's walking through town centre and he's saying about how society has failed, right? And he's pointing out people. It's really shameful. He picks out a boy who's picking cigarette butts out of the ashtray, right? And he's like, see, that man's picking cigarette butts out of the ashtray. Society has failed him, yeah? Okay, the guy's got some points to make. I appreciate it. But what I don't appreciate is that he's using our town as a reference and without reference to all the good that comes out of it. Yeah. Like that man picking out a cigarette butts, you don't know what's going on with him. Why are you trying to use him as the example of what Luton is? That's not what Luton is. That's one part of it. Yeah, society has failed that man, but society's failed him on a mental health level. Yeah, that's where I believe homelessness and crime and drugs abuse and all of that stuff. I think that's where it comes from. It comes from people who have really been suffering from mental health, and then they just get cast onto the street, and then they've got nowhere to live, and then they're cold, they're hungry. What do you think is going to happen when Tristan Tate makes comments like that? It makes me so angry. I want Linus to rough him up. I swear to God, the way that it's fine to go around pointing out things, but what are you doing about it, mate? Yeah. What are you actually doing about it? You're just going to go and moan, and you're going to go and complain, and you're going to say, this town looks like this. Now, bro, actually do something. Put your money where your mouth is, yeah? Shut your mouth. Stop doing all this stupidness about telling people about how bad the place is. Put your money where your mouth is, yeah? Come and help out. Because that's the real change that needs to happen. Not people talking about it. Don't talk about it. Go and help it. So, yeah, sorry, I just went off with a rant about
really did. That's
really angers me. Really angers me.
But the point still for you to stand. You know what I mean? We can all sit here and say, "Oh, we want to change this. We want to help. We want to do this." But if you're not there, if you're not. Oh, you want to stop littering. You want to stop all this. But if you're not helping clean up, if you're not doing this, like.
You're right.
If you're not doing anything about it,
like, dude,
I want to hear it.
I was walking through town. I used to be one of the moaners. I used to moan and go, look how trampy this town is. Do you know what I've done? I get a litter picker and a bin bag. I clean my room. I clean my room because I've realised nobody's coming to help us. So stop moaning about it and do some actual work. Like that's what I think is what I'm kind of trying to do, is to expose people who are doing that work. And who do care, like you care so much. Like, people need to know more about you so that they can then be inspired to do more. I'm not going to go and then pick out people who are doing badly. But what's the point in that? It's been done. We know what the problems are. Let's stop talking about night crime in Luton in the way that we talk about it being an endless problem. How about you go into the communities and see what you can do to fix it? Now, big up to Boxing Saves Lives, actually. You know my man, JP, yeah? JP, I love you. Yeah, oh, he's coming on the podcast at some point. He's just useless with his phone. But I'm shouting you out here, JP. But I'm saying it because I've got Linus next to me, so I'm going to say it. No, JP is wicked. I love JP to death, man. Like he is proof in the pudding, bro. Like, he started to realise that there's places that need to have a focus and need a drive. And boxing gives that so many young people. And he puts on 3 sessions. Yeah. 3 sessions. Wow. And he teaches people to box.
Well, that's incredible.
He's incredible.
Top as well, like where boxing, do you know what I mean? Where boxing's helped. You've got unsung heroes like, what's it, Liam Cromwell as well.
Yeah.
He's you know what I mean? He doesn't blow his own. He's
great.
Almost not a victim of success. He's too modest. He doesn't blow his own. He's saved so many. But what I wanted was to use myself as an example, because the younger generation are formulating the future.
Yeah.
So there's no point. There's no point trying to. You have to clean up younger. You have to. If you're bringing up clean kids, you won't have to deal with breaking the dog.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you bring up clean kids, and that man, as well as JP, like Liam, like he has helped so many kids in so many ways, and a lot of people won't even see it or understand it. So that
maybe I need to get him on the podcast.
Shout out, and also the guy that got me. The reason I'm actually boxing, the guy that got me into it, the guy that first put blood in my hand was Grant Woolball. He's another unsung guy as well. Like, these guys have helped so many kids growing down that league. He stopped. These guys have single-handedly stopped so many drugs being pushed out, knives being carried, fights happening, kids dying because of how they brought up these kids and how
giving them mentality
and what they put into these kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's there's just a couple of names that have to hold some light as well, because they deserve everything.
Well, yeah, maybe I can get some information off you after this, and we can sort something out. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to expose these people.
This is why you started.
Yeah,
it's correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
and that is brilliant, because, like I say, I wouldn't have known that. I'm not into boxing, football's my sport, rugby I sort of know about and whatnot, but wouldn't have known that. So, you know, I've sort of known him when I started to do. I said boxing, I mean, 2 or 3 times, to be honest, and then fitness for me, I'm lazy.
Oh, you were supposed to do white collar as well.
Yeah, I did white collar and that. Again, did all the training, and it was lockdown, so didn't end up fighting. But no, that's why you're doing this podcast, to raise a lot on these people that don't put themselves forward, don't get awards and stuff, because they don't want the awards.
Well, do you know what? The difficult thing with these people is that they are too humble and they are too modest. And this is what I'm sort of trying to tread the fine line between now, is arrogance and being humble. Because I understand that if you want to do good work and you're being arrogant about it, people are going to assume that you only want it for the self-satisfaction. Right? But at the same time, if you're too humble, no one knows what you're doing, and who the hell are you inspiring? Like, the thing is, for me, is like, so I'm probably going to really annoy people by telling this again, but I think it's a special story to tell. So me and Jack, last year, we was at the Community Interest Luton Awards, and I told Jack that I wanted to be Deadpool again. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He was outside, yeah? So I said to him, I want to be Deadpool again. The reason was because I was in the room with hundreds of heroes, right? They put this event on every year. You get the biggest people in Luton. Yeah, everybody from Luton. It's all completely Luton-based. And I was just, oh man, I get chills even thinking about it now, just thinking about being around all of these people who are just doing such great work. And we just heard story after story, person up. It's just an entire room. And I didn't know that many people existed in Luton that were doing good work. Yeah. I thought it was just a handful at best, but it's hundreds. And you know,
they're in the papers, aren't they? That's what I'm saying about Luton and how the tabloids and stuff and the press, they put all the negative things on the front page. And you have to turn to page like 27 so we can see a little paragraph of, you know, little Teresa's just, you know, fed 10 starving children and whatnot. So it's like, why'd you have to go that side? You know, all the negative stuff out
there's no
positive stuff.
There's no family.
You know, it's not there, and it's so annoying.
But then this is my personal thought, is that I think it's because of this. The people that are doing it aren't doing it for fame or glory or anything like that, which is good and makes sense. But unfortunately, people don't hear about it enough there. Like, you do need to be a bit more like, look, I'm great because I'm doing this. You should try it too. Maybe there's going to be a kid out there that hears you. You know, I when we had Sabina when we started, so Sabina Hazel is she works for the Bedfordshire Hospital charity. I always mess it up there. Bedfordshire Hospital charity, right? And what they do is they provide equipment for the nurses, doctors, for people in the children's wards. Like, they look after the staff basically, and without their help, our hospital would be so much worse, and the mental health of the staff would be 10 times worse as well. It would be a horrific sight. So she's so needed. But Sabina isn't the type of person to pick up a microphone and tell people about herself. So how would the younger generation be inspired by him without that foghorn? Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm the foghorn.
Podcasts like this, the Community Interest Awards, and just, you know, it's inspiring people is easily done, but we're in such a society where if you're doing good things and it's on a camera, there's going to be some kind of negative.
You absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? There's going to be some kind of negative, and it's not. And that's not always the situation. Some people just aren't like that. Like, personally, there's a lot of things I do. I won't. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Like,
I've done it.
I'm just.
I mean, here's the thing. Maybe you should. Right, and I know that I always get pushed back. There's people who won't come on camera with me because they don't want the fame at all. Yeah, they don't want people to know, and they are feeding children. They're teaching children. They're doing, and it's all for free. They make no money out of it whatsoever. What I would say to you is there's going to be a lot of people, young kids, that may need to look up to someone. Like, for me, when I was a kid, I was told, this is so stupid. Yeah, so I'm mixed race, right? Growing up. And I don't care about saying that. Yeah, I don't. I'm very light. I'm caramel mixed. No, but growing up for me, I didn't have a single superhero that I looked at and saw myself in. So it's very important for me to tell people that I'm mixed race, because there's bare mixed race kids out there. There's bare dark skinned kids out there who have never seen a superhero like me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's important. If they can see that, then they can go, wow, I could do something. Do you know what I mean? And that's why it's important for you to say these things, because there might be kids out there who look like you when you was a little boy, and they need to see someone who looks like them that they can then aspire to be like. So maybe you do need to say, I'm sorry to just put you on the spot like this, I always do it to people, but it's true, man. Maybe you should like share it a bit more, because people should hear it. Like, man, I want to hear it. I want to know what you're doing. I want to be inspired to do even more because of you. Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Right, well, thank you for listening to my stupid rant. I'm ranting a lot.
No, you're good. I'm going to change the subject, right? And I'm going to go, because I know that Linus will like this one. Let's talk about Luton Town.
Come on, Luton Town. Luton Man. Oh, Rob Edwards. Controversial.
Already, I didn't actually watch the interview, but from what I've seen, he has said a couple of things already about our rivals, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Saying about, when he was there, they didn't really have a trophy room.
Yeah, I know. That was so funny.
I mean, if that is true, I didn't see the interview.
Yeah, it was so
already. But yeah, I didn't really know much about him.
He seems really down to earth.
Seems good. My mates was telling me about what he's been up to as well. I think he's won League 2 with the club.
Yeah.
He's won sort of under 16s and 19 levels as well. Yeah. He seems on paper a very good appointment. I mean, obviously, like I say, I can tell
very sensible.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, yeah, what's your thoughts on it, Lauren?
Look, we got before we got onto a new manager, we got to pay homage. We've got to pay homage to the neighbours. You know what I mean?
I met him at the Run Fest.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good boy. Look, you got to pay homage. It's no one wanted that.
No.
Nobody wanted. But I think we can all speak. We can all kind of agree that we are all really happy that he's moved on and he's really done well.
Yeah.
To Rob Edwards, and thanks for everything he's done as well. But yeah, Rob Edwards, I'm going to say this, Jack. I didn't really know much about him.
Mm-hmm.
I had to, when they appointed him, I had to look into it. Yeah. I had to see what he's done. Yeah, and the first thing I thought when I looked at all the accolades and looked at what he's done, I thought, you know what? It's sensible.
Yeah.
It's sensible.
The first thing I saw was Watford. That made me sick. Yeah.
Looking at the appointment, he probably hasn't accumulated. He's not accumulating a massive wage bill. No. He's going to be sensible with his transfers. Probably. Yeah. He's going to be sensible with how he plays the team. He's going to listen to the team. I mean, he's a very, very sensible appointment. I want to see or if he changes anything. I want to see the changes he's going to make. I want to see what he's done. I want to see what players he kind of vibe with and tries to run with.
Yeah, because we've got a big squad. It's not like he is in need of players.
No. Do you know what I mean? However, I want to see how is he going to try and play how we play, or is he going to make us play how he plays? Because
that could be a big problem in the middle of the season.
100%, yeah.
He's an all the time, yeah.
And I was asked this, and one of my mates, he was like, is it, we play a certain way? And I went, we always play a certain way because that's just how Nathan plays.
Yeah.
And can we do other things? Can we become the team that isn't the worst for keeping possession? Because all we do is long ball counter attack.
Right.
Long ball counter. We've got to play for it. However, we've also got forwards. We've also got players that can pass the ball. We've got long players. We've got ball playing centre back. We've got dribbling players in the middle. We've got fast players on the side. But in Nima, I want to see him play more. I don't think he's ever been played where he's comfortable.
Yeah.
That wing back role, I get it. I get what they're trying. However, that's not how that's not. Getting back isn't what he does. You need him up there. You need him staying up there.
You need him like Trent Alexander-Arnold sort of thing. You know what I mean? In the fact that I prefer him.
Yeah, I'd rather you in a front three on the right or something.
Correct.
Just stay up there. Don't worry about coming back. You know what I mean? You want. But again,
that requires such a deep change.
100%. It's cultural. It's going to be cultural. It's going to be completely because you've seen it. We've brought in players. And they played our way. Yeah. Brought in players, chucked out players, bring him in. They all played our way. Now, is he going to be a manager that will keep that going, even though it's worked for us? Keep that going, or is he going to bring in different ideas as well and play a different style of football? Which obviously I won't. I think the thing is for us is we are still very privileged to be in the position that we're in. We're 10th at the moment. I mean, you say privileged.
I think we are because Nathan brought us up that 20% more. Do you know what I mean? Because with him, he's got this energy. I mean, we've sat above him in the box. And oh my God, I've never seen. I thought he was going to have a heart attack the entire game. He's so on it the whole time.
I think he's a fantastic man manager.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean, I think he's a very unique guy because look how he gets those players fired up.
Exactly.
Look how he gets the best out of every single player.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine now? We change this to a completely different. We don't really know a lot about, right? you replacing that with Nathan Jones. Nathan Jones is like a big red hot poker up your ass. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Every time you ain't giving him less than 100%. No way.
And then, you know what, as well? I got a little bit closer to the club than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I know, George Moncur, there was a reason he weren't getting a lot of games.
Yeah.
But when he did, he was a baller. We all knew he was a baller. And, they wanted more from him. They said, look, you don't work hard enough. You don't do your job defensively enough. Yeah. So I'm not going to give you that when I can give someone less. Mm-hmm. When I can give someone a lesser player more time because they grow. And you know what I mean? Things like that. And you can get the best out of players. Yeah. You see, I've never seen Harry Cornish play as well. Throughout his whole career, he has underneath Jones. He's played.
He was a very nobly kind of player. Yeah. Last season, oh my God, he was like my kids. We love going to my kids got close to the home Cornish. Like he's Cristiano Ronaldo nowadays. Do you know what I mean? That's how much of a big star he is today.
He's a massive star.
He is. He's
second to that. He reminded me of sort of a championship Vardy. Whenever you see Vardy, your defence starts from the front, right? Your defence starts from the front. And when you've got a striker that just does not stop,
James Collins.
Oh my God!
Absolutely. Doesn't stop. Super Dan, even at times, I know towards the end, sort of last 10, 15, but that 10, 15, he'd probably run more than most of the other players in the 90 minutes. He wouldn't stop. And I think, interesting point there, Lance, and I agree. Whether this guy comes in, because we're quite a high-press team, it'll be interesting to see if he sticks with that or if he actually
puts his own.
Yeah, because I'd love to think this exactly like you said. I've always said this about Luton. They have got the potential, I think, personally, to play different stuff, like each game, change.
Do you remember? Second promotion round to Champions?
That first season?
No, second one. Second promotion. Back to back, the second one. So, the last couple of games, the last game against Oxford, and the pitch invasion happened.
Oh, you think they're
coming up to the last 5 games, we more or less we were going to win.
Yeah.
We were going to win it. And then you saw classy football come out. Yeah. I've always said this, I've never Matty Pearson. Look, no disrespect to him, he's average. He's a very average player. He doesn't have any outstanding skills. I saw him put across a ball outside the boot to Harry Cornish. I'm like, that was you're Matty Pearson. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What's going on here? And I saw that glimpse of that. When we've all done it, we're riding on the higher promotion. Everyone is feeling it. Everyone is, we're going to get promoted. Oh my God, this is amazing. Players feel it, everyone's feeling it. Yeah. It's a bloody 40, how many game season, Players are shaking, but they're playing out of their skin and they're playing different football. And I'm like, this little glimpse, this 5 games out of hundreds, we could be like it. Yeah. We could be like it. Got players balling, Pele, one-touch passing, left, right, centre, triangle, up into the... Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, we could do this could be us.
Yeah.
And I always hold on to that. I know we've got it.
We've got it. We do it. I'm cautiously optimistic. I like the new manager. The way he spoke was brilliant. Made me laugh firstly, which I think if you're going to be a new manager, you need to be a bit funny. You've got to be a bit funny, because the players need that as well. You don't need to necessarily come on the dressing room with aggression and strength and stuff. You can do it by being a funny guy and sort of taking over in that sort of way.
So I think that's where Graham Jones fell flat in his face. He kind of had no character. He showed up and tried to, I'm the boss.
How can you walk into Kenilworth Road? Look at that stadium. It's ancient. It's literally one of the oldest stadiums in the country. How can you walk into that with nothing about it? Yeah, it is. I'm going to be so sad with those. Because I've heard the plans for what's happening to it afterwards. It does sound pretty. I was hoping they would turn it into either a youth pitch or for the ladies or something, do something like that. Apparently they're just going to flatten it and put houses over it. Yeah, that was always going to be given. Because you know what it is, you say that you're still going to get all those. You're still going to get youth pitch somewhere. But the new one, they're going to have so much there. Yeah, they're going to have so much there. It'll still be there. The brakes will probably still be there. Yeah. So, it's I get it though. It's just that, man. It's the most special place. It's how you got to get into there. Like, man, the walk over there. It's like, I love it. And I get so excited when I'm on the bridge and I'm coming over. I get so excited.
Yeah,
I'm pumped, man. I'm actually pumped. But yeah, like no, this. I personally think that Luton have got good future in them. I want to be optimistic, but also at the same time, we are getting the season.
Yeah, and plus, look, being a Luton fan is. being a Luton fan is tough, man. Like, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
You get some great days. You get some awful days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like I remember, like, not even like just last year alone, you get days. We had wild days. We had days where we're beating Bournemouth, smashed in Bournemouth, like beating Swansea, beating the teams that we shouldn't be beating. And then we go play Reading. And we should, Peterborough, we should be smashed. That was one of my worst away days. They were shit tonight. They really smashed us. I was just like, you know what it is? I can't be mad because this is just what comes with being a Liverpool fan, or just a team in the Championship. You can't.
I'm so glad that you think like that because you know what? There's some fans in our town who we go on a bit of a run and then we lose a game, and then they go out of their absolute mind like we should never lose a game in the entire book. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I like your point on that.
And there's some teams, let's be honest, they must be so boring to support, like so, but they don't do nothing. They sort of just pop in the middle.
I love it. I love it when you go on these little rides about the teams that you hate. Because of the fans that support them. It makes me laugh so much.
I don't get it. Like, surely you would want to support a team, like I say, with Luton. I mean, I've often said, I'm sure it's not years I've been not supporting Luton. I'm telling you now because
it's exciting.
It's exciting, but sometimes a bit too exciting, like in the fact of, they leave everything to last minute. I think they did it the other week, didn't they? Losing 1-0 Cochrane, was it?
I nearly bloody broke my leg.
Oh, yeah.
We played Bournemouth and Naismith.
Yeah.
Naismith scored that screen.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my leg, so I'm in this no way. And we're like, we're winning. We're winning like 2-0.
Yeah.
They come back to like 2-2, and I'm thinking, how have we done this?
Yeah.
How have we done this? And what's going on here? And then, you remember the play, it goes out to the wing, crosses it in, it goes back out there, he crosses it, he gets it, everyone goes, oh. And I'm on the chair, I'm like, oh my God. Then he plays it, everyone goes, oh shit.
Yeah.
Every bit erupted. It erupted. Forget the fact that we shouldn't have been too like, it shouldn't have been, we shouldn't have been drawing.
No.
Yeah. Forget that. Let's just.
Exactly.
It's mad. I've jumped up and I'm like, and I've slipped off the stand.
Oh, no.
And I've landed on the people in front of me.
Oh,
no. Really, my foot has slipped off the thing. So I jumped up, stood on the end of the chair, and slipped off that. And, oh, mate, I could But again, this is what happened. This is what these are losing.
I'm going to say my favourite time so far was, it wasn't the best result, but it was Huddersfield at home in the playoffs last year. Yeah, the first one. Oh my God. Walking into the ground, there was an energy and an atmosphere that I haven't felt for a long time.
That was 9-on-5.
It was a night.
That was a night.
That's why.
I was thinking I was at the away one, but I went to Eric Morgan.
Yeah.
With Eric Morgan to watch it. But no, that was not.
It was because that's why we were all inside watching. It was a double whammy for us. We were, Oh, mate.
No, but that game was absolutely insane. We had chances constantly. Cornick should have won it for us. Really, towards the end, it was like he was so well placed. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for anything. Yeah. That day, I was there with my friends. I was there with the Luton fans. It was just a maddest time. I just love it. I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in the new season.
It was an amazing situation, right? It was an amazing situation to be in. Luton to go to the best league in the world. Arguably the best league in the world. That is teams like Luton. Yeah. And Premier League, you don't correlate the two. We were this close to get there. Yeah. That's crazy. That is.
Well, hopefully we'll do it again this year.
I'd like to think so. I do think we overachieved last year.
However, this year we're better placed for. I
still think squad depth. It's always going to be against us, and unfortunately, that's what I think actually killed us last season was squad depth with the injuries, and we just didn't have the replacements. Okay?
One of the worst, one of the best and the happiest and saddest feeling was it the last game, the game that confirmed that we were going to the playoffs. And you see all the players came in the pitch, everyone was clapping. It was
Yeah, that was beautiful.
However, I looked at the pitch and all the players that were on crutches, that were walking, and I just thought to myself, I looked at it and I'm singing.
But then you are doing a second.
I'm singing, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, this is incredible. We are going to the playoffs. And I looked and I'm thinking, what is it? Adebayo, Pele,
Mate,
there was loads out.
So many.
Yeah, Sonny Bradley was out. James Green was out.
What's his name? Left back, Jamaican international.
Yeah.
So many players.
It's like they put their body on the line.
What's his name?
No, Shay.
He's out as well.
His name.
Because we got Harry Isted.
Yeah, and I looked and I was like singing and I was clapping and I was loving it. I looked over, seeing all the punches and I just, you know, when you're like, I'm really happy, but I'm really upset.
I'm really worried.
Because I mean, if you could have had the players that we had during the best part of the season, you know, the big run that we had in that playoff final, mate, we're going to. That's what I would agree. I watched that playoff final and what football we played earlier in the season. We would have smashed both them seasons. No problem.
It's all if maybe, but I do agree with that slightly, which is crazy to think. But like I say, we overachieved last season. This season, we love to think that we're going to do it. I really do, and I always believe in it. But I just don't want anyone, especially like this new manager coming in. You know, they've got to be realistic. We did overachieve last season.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
This season, again, we don't, you know, as long as we're sort of in the mix, we're an established championship team now. We can safely say that. We're established. We can sort of hover just around there, and the next season, you know, really goes for like that sort of, you know, cement yourself, not just in sort of just creep into the playoffs, but actually really get a, you know, third or fourth spot for next season, then you've certainly done well, you know, but we need to build on this squad.
Just so I think we probably need to be wrapping up a little bit soon. But just to wrap up, staying on football, you're doing something quite cool. You've got today, aren't you? Where are you going?
So I'm actually off to watch the Arsenal ladies against Manchester United ladies at the Emirates.
Exciting.
Which is really exciting. I think I know United lost to Chelsea, United winning Chelsea winning the week, but they were Arsenal and United right at the top, joint points. So it will be a very good game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Linus, what are you doing for the rest of the day?
One of my mates, Ellis Stewart, who's a stable mate of mine, Jim, and he's fighting tonight at your call, so I'll forward to this.
Who's your mate? Let's give him a shout out.
Ellis Stewart, he's 1-0 now as a pro.
Sick. Well done, Ellis.
He's fighting tonight, hopefully 2-0. So I'm just going to go see him tonight. Going to go see him fight tonight and have a chill one.
Good luck, Ellis. Good luck.
Well, thank you very much for coming, Jack, my man.
Thank you.
It's always, I love it doing little podcasts with Jack. It's always great fun because, you know, I grind too much. And Linus, man, seriously, thank you so much for coming, bro. It means the world. It means the world to have you in this town, and I can't wait to see how your career progresses, man. And I'm going to be your biggest fan. Hopefully I can be in the crowd at least every time from here on out. 100%. I'd love to see that. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us for the Luton's Deadpool podcast. I love you, Luton. Take it. I'm done. That's it. It's a wrap. Let's see if it worked.
Beautiful.
It works.
Do you imagine?
Oh, mate, do you know what? The last two, I've been getting up mid-podcast to check because I'm starting to get paranoid about it. Yeah.